going to be playing Blueprints today. Brand new game came out today, quite literally 20 minutes ago. I had it on my wish list. Seen a few videos about this. Sort of really seems like it's right on my street. Seems to be, um, from what I've seen, it's described as a puzzle game, but also a little bit of a roguelike. I'm not entirely sure how that plays into it, but I thought we'll give it a go. We'll see, how we do. I do like a puzzle game slash escape room game, so let's jump in and see. Really don't know much about this, I have to be honest. But it is something that as soon as I saw it, I was like, that looks like something I'm going to enjoy. Let's see, shall we? The rain effects. Dogu Bomb. Not heard of the developer. I've seen it's got very good reviews, this though. Sort of getting nines, 8s and 9s out of 10. I like games like this where you really don't know what to expect, but it sort of seems like there's something about it that resonates with me, but I really don't have a clue. Well, I have to say it's the first game in a while that's got me excited to play.
I, Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made
Codicils.
by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew,
So are we Simon?
son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right,
Miss Moray Bowl,
and interest in, and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly.
got sort of a spooky feel to it. I don't believe it's a horror or anything to do with horror.
Provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering
46th
the location of the
room of my 45-room estate.
45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner.
A timely manner, okay. So time limit maybe?
To uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse.
So find the room, get nothing.
I have hereunto
or get nothing, I might say.
This 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert.
1993. It's a bit more modern than I expected. I expected from sort of what I have seen for it to be like 1800s. 1993, pretty modern. Okay. Day one. Graphically looks good. It's sort of like that, not pixel art, like cell shaded. So I can walk outside to the grounds. As I say, I've genuinely not seen or played this at all. I have no idea what to do. Okay, let's have a look at this. So, open only in the event of my death. Simon, welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume that you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you nothing could have been further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules of this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the successes of the previous day. So I'm guessing that's where the roguelike element comes in. So you have to restart every day. So there's obviously a time limit, and on day resets you start again. So maybe I don't. It's going to be interesting. One final word of advice: do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. Yeah, so everything's going to change, but maybe eventually, I'm going to assume we have to solve 45 rooms in order to get to the 46th. But maybe there's a challenge in it to do it as quickly as possible. Obviously, find the best route would be, I don't play many roguelikes, but that seems to be what I would imagine would be the case. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half-century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads, abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. With all my love and wishes, best of luck, Herbert J.S. Sinclair. Okay. So, now we've got blueprints, so I'm going to assume this is a map of sorts. This will serve as a useful map and inventory log during your adventure. You may access the blueprint menu you're playing. That's in R2. There we go. So this is the blueprint. So these are the rooms then. Can we move this around? No. Okay. I don't want to go too much just yet. Searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose one step. When you no longer have any steps left, you will be too tired to continue searching the manor and must call it a day. Okay. So that's just entering a room. So let's go. Let's go this one just because it's there. Okay, select a room to draft. Bedroom, hallway, closet. Let's go closet. 2 items. Okay, so we get a key. Some sort. Umbrella, maybe? Definitely said 2 items. They're the shoes. Does that give me extra steps? Occasionally save steps when traveling longer distances across the estate and grounds. Nice. So we've got a key. Now I'm assuming we don't close them. I'm assuming the keys are just generic, so they open, I would guess, anything that requires that key. Let's go den. Okay. So I'll try to find things to interact with. Big clock on the wall. Another door. I would have to assume there's a reason to be in here. I picked up a gem of some sort. Don't know what that is for. Doesn't seem I can do anything else from here. So, if I open the map, okay. So it does sort of map it out then. So if we go, let's go left door. Lavatory, parlour. Parlour purely because it's got the puzzle piece. I'm assuming we might have something to do. This box is black. Pardon me. The gems are in a true box. This box is blue. Okay. Anything over here? Got a clock. Works wind up key, a component of the parlour game. Notes. Dear Herbert, it was a great honour receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, been quite a while since we've been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlour game I had played some years back involving 3 boxes of different colours. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time, and I've included with this letter all the details you will need to share with the guests should you be inclined to play this compounding game. Always your friend, M. Lowry. So, there will always be at least one box which displays only true statements. there will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize within. The other two are always empty. Okay, so just judging on that box is black, so that must be the true one, which means the gems are in a true box. I mean, I'm just winging it. Oh, okay. So do I get to try again? Oh, this box is blue, but I thought they said there was only one. Well, that must mean that the gems are in this box because they're both true. So I don't think I can get that back. So I think I've messed that up. God damn it. Okay. Well, lesson learned. Because that is black and that is blue, which means they're both true, but there has to be one that's lying. So this one must have been the lying one. Fortunately, I've wasted the key, so I can't get whatever's in there. I don't know what the gems are for. Let's go into the storeroom. Okay. Coin. Must have some use. Coin. A key. So that's 2 keys and another gem. I actually don't know what the gems are for, the keys or the coins. No other door in here, so we're gonna have to go back. I'm annoyed at myself about that. But there. So, guest bedroom, which gives us plus 10 steps. Hallway or corridor. Corridor is always left unlocked. So let's go. I don't need the steps yet. Let's go hallway then. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. Oh, there's a blocked off door there. I can't get through there. Door here though. Security view inventory of all our items currently in the house. Gem requirement 1. Okay. So that's what that's for then. So the gems buys into rooms. But that will show us all items currently in the house. No pantry just for the coins. Bridget, please pick up some more fruit before Friday, as we've just been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, so I think an even spread would be 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. The enclosed amount should cover expenses, but please bring back any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. 5 apples, 5 oranges, 5 bananas. Do I have to collect? Okay. Up the ladder, can't up the ladder. Can't, I assume, look in any of the cupboards. So it looks like pieces of fruit give us steps as well. Next room. Corridor, laboratory passageway. The problem here, I think, is if I go there, I'm going to block myself off, so I'm going to go corridor again. Because obviously if I go into a room with a dead end, I think I've got one room left right at the beginning. But other than that, I'm pretty shafted if I do that. Nook plus 1 key. Let's go Nook. An extra key. Which is there. Third key and another note. Journey noteworthy. As you continue on your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down your notes and observations. A pad, scrap of paper, or perhaps most fittingly a journal will prove to be an invaluable tool you will not regret having beside you on your journey. Why? Okay. So the word beside. It's in italics there, which may mean nothing, but my brain points it out. Not there. Can't see anything else. But you may draw new floor plans while drafting in this room. Whenever you enter a chapel, lose 1 coin. Let's go bedroom then. Not been in a bedroom yet, but we gain extra steps at 41. Okay, so we sort of even out there. Greetings from Reddington. Rain. Lots of hats. Now, I'm guessing there's nothing in here to do. Picture. With a moon necklace. Might be relevant. I'm one of those that believes that everything's there for a reason. So if there's a picture like that with somebody wearing a specific, piece of jewelry or clothing, it's probably going to be relevant at some point. Patio spread. Gem in each green room. Let's go patio. I don't know what any of this means. I can only assume it means that every green room will have a gem in it. I don't know. Occasionally you may discover small mounds of dirt in certain rooms of the estate. With a shovel, one may be able to excavate these suspicious dig spots. Okay, we got a shovel. We just got a shovel there. Shovel looks like it could be useful for digging. Now there is this here. We can actually dig. Key can open one locked door. Another one here. Coin can be spent in shop rooms. Okay. I mean, it's now becoming very apparent that I'm a bit of an idiot. Because the most obvious thing for the keys and the coins to do is to be spent in open doors. Yep, right. Food for sale. East wing hall. Now, it did say west wing doors are more likely to be locked. Didn't mention anything to do with the east wing. Yeah. I mean, so far, I've only found one puzzle. Let's just try the chapel. We spent a coin. Pick up or look at or read. Chess piece. Those are 2 doors. Let's use the key. First key used. Closet breaker box. Each day a meal is served in the dining room after rank 8 has been reached. I don't know what rank I am. I'm assuming nowhere near 8. Let's go utility closet and see what happens with the breaker box. Does that like move things around or turn things off? Okay. Gymnasium, dark room, garage. I don't really understand what I've got to do. I mean, we turn the garage on. I don't understand any of that. Oh, okay. That's sneaky. So just going through there and back into it cost me a coin. So we could do with not doing that again then. Yeah. Greenhouse, you're more likely to draw green rooms while drafting. Let's go with this one. Again, because we've not been in a room yet where we have to spend a gem to get in. A few piles of dirt. Let's get them dug up. Coin. Pebbles. Not even worth picking up. So, okay, so we can find things that aren't useful then. That. What's this do? I assume I would have to have something to activate that. Watering can. The first time you enter each green room, you use 1 water to gain 1 gem. It's the first time, didn't it? Use found inside 1 leather shade. Greens that shine in night and rain. Blue U-Haul cannot be paid. Gems nor coin. So toss away these sheets you find a worthy trade. Okay. Doesn't seem to be much use. I mean, that looks. I'm guessing that's a secret door that would open if I had the right thing to get it. But I can't see anything that would help with that. Oh, I don't want to lose enough coin. Okay. So obviously that didn't count as the first time then that I came in, unless it's just the first time after I got it, obviously. So there's nothing else in here. There's obviously a secret door there that I would need. I'm guessing a handle or something to be able to do that. I'm just wary that now I'm pretty much stuck. So I might have to go all the way back to the start. Because I don't have any doors left. Check in, but I think the only door I could possibly use is right at the beginning. Entry. They're blocked off. I mean, luckily I'm not. Oh, actually there. Let's see what we can do from this one. Wine cellar, laboratory, or cloister. 3 gems required. Let's go wine cellar to get 3 gems. I'm not entirely sure it's going to really be helpful. Means nothing to me right now. Is there anything that relate to maybe moving these wine bottles around? Actually do anything with them, or any of them? So now I think I have no real choice other than to call it a day, purely because I've got no rooms left. No other doors. Let's go outside and see what we can do out there. Can we open this gate? Can't. Whoops. There's a little bit of exploring to do here. A secret door there by the look of it. A waterfall. Bird bath. Oh, nice little tunnel here. Can I do anything down here? Can't actually see. Okay, guys, so about here my microphone decided to die on me. So it's sort of now voiced over, obviously in post, which is, it's not great because you don't get the live reaction, but I'll try and do what I can with it in terms of talking you through it. So yeah, I've just continued to explore the grounds really and try and figure out everything that's going on. There's a few doors down here, as you can see, which are closed, locked off. I'm not sure if they open up later on through the house. Maybe there's certain rooms you can find that open the doors to the outside. I'm not too sure. Campsites here. So if you remember on the rules, as it will tell you here specifically, you aren't allowed to sleep or stay overnight in the house. So the campsite, I gather, is just sort of a little nod to that fact and saying, well, this is where you must be staying overnight. Weird thing is you never start from the campsite. You always start from the outside, but it's there. I guess it's just a contingency thing to make, that part of the story make sense. Small white gate up here with a numerical padlock. Looks to be like an apple orchard, something like that there. I'm assuming, later on we'll find the code for that. Really at this point, I'm just trying to get a feel for it. I'm just trying to figure things out. Nice big blast door there as well. Just trying to figure out if there's anything around that I can do or pick up. There's a reason for this whole area being there. It's never just there for no reason. So just trying to figure that out really at this point and trying to see what I can do next. I think at this point, if I remember rightly, I've pretty much exhausted my day in the house, which I think now, if you look here, I will be ending the day because I've, as you can see from these here, there's no avenue available to me to get new rooms. So I believe at this day I decided to call it a day. Start again on the second day and just see if we can get any progress. So calling it a day there. So that obviously resets your steps for the day, and essentially you start again. All the rooms, so far that I've experienced would be different. And you get this little sort of status page at the end. So cozy cottage, that changes depending on how the rank you reach. So the rank is the number of sort of moves forwards towards the antechamber that you get for the day. So starting on day 2, we've got a little bit of know-how now, but still very, very much figuring things out and trying to work out what needs to be done and the best way to move forward. I think around here, obviously, I'd realised that the placement of the rooms is massive, because obviously if you place a dead end, you can't then move forward through that room. Dead ends can be good, but not always. It's dependent on what you need. If you need keys or you need items, then the closets or the storerooms or whatever are good for that, but they also sometimes lock off an avenue, and with the RNG of the game, sometimes that could be a bad thing, because if you run out of doors, you have to end the day. There's no way around it. If you can't move forward, you have to end the day. So yeah, just again, still looking around and exploring. Nice little spare room. Nothing really in there. It's just essentially a corridor to another room. So looking here, parlor. I wanted to go parlor because obviously the first time I'd done this, I'd failed pretty miserably and not really read the instructions right, so I didn't get the reward, nor did I manage to figure the puzzle out. So I think this was a bit of a revenge for me, trying to figure out the actual right box to get the gems that I needed. So again, just exploring around the room, just making sure there's nothing else in there, and then we're on to the puzzle. So looking at the box, this box and the blue box are empty. The black box contains the gems, and all 3 boxes are empty. Now, all 3 boxes can't be empty, so we know that's a lie. So this box and the blue box are empty. So that could be the truth. That one's definitely a lie, because we know there's something in one of the boxes. So one of these is telling the truth, and one of them is a lie. So this box and the blue box are empty. So that must be a lie. Oh, it doesn't actually have to be a lie, does it? Black box. That one we know is a lie. I can't remember what it said on the blue box, guys. I apologise. But we got it right, so we got the gems. So gems allow us to open new rooms. So there's a cost for certain rooms, and that will just allow us to use them to do that. As you can see there, what I was talking about with the closet. So we get 2 items, but we also block off a potential route. Now, at this point, in experience, both the storeroom and the closet would probably be a bad move. I chose the closet because I thought I could use the items, but as already mentioned, I've now blocked off a complete sort of avenue momentarily at least, up this side of the house. One of the things I wasn't doing at this point was using the map while picking a door. So I'm just sort of going on and picking anything. But you can, as you can see there, R2 to bring up the blueprint map. It just means you can actually check to see what you've already put down. And at this point, I'm still not really doing that. I'm still not using it quite as much as I should do. So here we've gone into the chapel. Chapel has a caveat because it's a red room. So every red room gives you some sort of negative effect. So for the chapel, every time you enter it, you lose a coin. And that means every time. So if I were to do, say, the drawing room here, which, we can see there, it has a gem cost. But to open the observatory, we needed to spend a gem. If I then go back in the chapel, I lose a coin. Now, I don't have any coins, which means I don't experience that negative effect. So for chapels, they're great out of the way. So you don't want it to be a central area that you're going to have to walk through lots, because once you get later on and you get to stuff like the commissary or the locksmith where you can buy stuff, and this is sort of spoilers for the first episode, obviously I've played a little bit more of this. Once you get to that point, if you have to keep walking through the chapel or losing a coin every time, it's just not going to be helpful. So this is just a book that explains you get a star for every time you draft the observatory, and the more stars you have up there, you end up with sort of buffs. So I can't remember what it said for the one. I think it might be a coin or a key. But the more you get, it varies in usefulness. Some of them, in all honesty, are not particularly useful compared to some of the others. So there's some that give you like 3 gems or 3 keys. There's also some that give you like 2 steps. But obviously, in order to do that, you need to draft this multiple times. So to get the really sort of decent rewards, you're going to have to try and draft this every time. Once you line this up with a gap, it doesn't move back. So once you've done it the one time, you never have to do it again. So far, that's my experience with it. So there I've got the 1 star. So you light that up, I gained a coin. Now, obviously, as we've already talked about, if I've now blocked off my entrance way back, if I can't get through another door, then I'm going to have to go through the chapel, which is going to lose me that coin that I've just got. I did notice this, and I still haven't really looked into it to see if there's anything you can do with it. I don't know if that plays any factor. As you can see, the door is blocked off there. That's because it's connected to a room where there isn't an available doorway. So that will always happen. If there's a room where you can't get through because it's blocked off, it's sort of barred and it's wooden. Which unfortunately means I have to go back through the chapel, which means I'll lose the coin. There you go, that I just got. So heading on to this, we're going to try and get another door. Again, if I was using the map at this point, it would be a lot easier for me to see what I should be putting down, but I just sort of went for the coins because I thought, I need the coins. They're not too important at this stage. All you really use them for is for buying things, which at this sort of early stage, you don't really know what's useful and what's not. So not the best choice. Kitchen is good, but again, I've now blocked off my other entranceway because I'm not using the map. So that's a tip, like always use your map to see what you're putting down. As you can see there, you can buy food, which gives you steps, varying in prices. Obviously, I bought a banana there. There wasn't really much point in me buying that banana because there's not a great deal I can do, especially at this point in this place. Door's barred off because it's against that observatory. So there's nothing I can do there. I have to go all the way back, lose another coin when I walk through here, go back to the beginning and try and go the other way through the entrance hall. This door here. So what we got there? So drawing room it's a good one. But it also has its negatives as well. So drawing room just allows you to redraft any room once you're in there. So you can sort of re-roll essentially to get a different room if that's what you want to do. Obviously, there's a benefit to that because if you get a room you don't like, you can redraw and potentially get another avenue or another way out. It also can be bad because if there's one that you specifically want in sort of a shape or a layout, and doesn't come up and you re-roll and you get worse, then again you're stuck. So I re-rolled there. Commissary would be the best, or the maid's chamber. I don't think I actually went for maid's chamber. if I did, because I don't remember seeing it. So there, that again, a little bit of a newbie sort of mistake there. I get the magnifying glass, which is useful later on, but I've also just blocked off another avenue for me to get through the house, because now I'm, in a dead end again. There's no way for me to move forward through this door. So I'm now down to one door in the entire house that I can sort of build upon and go through. Just testing out the magnifying glass here. See, I don't know, it says what it does, but it just felt like there may be something in this letter, but it's quite obvious when there's something that you need to look at through the magnifying glass. And this obviously wasn't one of them, but just testing out a new tool really and seeing, what it does, which again, I know sounds stupid. We all know what a magnifying glass does, but I assumed that being in this room with that letter, there must be some reason for it being there, some use for it. There wasn't, but, at least it's there. And I've got it now for what remains of this playthrough, which is not a lot. So I redrew there, went for the den. So den's not a bad one. You get a gem, so the gem should be on the table. I think at this point I thought it said a gem, a key, and a coin, which is why I'm searching around a little bit. I think I got this one mixed up with the storeroom. So you'll see me sort of looking around a little bit, trying to figure out what, where the things are that I thought was in there, but there's nothing. On this one, there's just a gem, which is fine. If I had more options available, that probably would have been useful. But again, because of my own sort of newness and that sort of side of things, I don't play very well for the rest of this bit. Just making sort of poor choices and making mistakes, which is fine. It's a game that's new to me, new to a lot of people, so mistakes are going to happen, and the whole point of it is learning from them, which I do slightly sometimes. I still make mistakes, but I learn from them a little bit, which is a positive. So through the door, this is the only door that I have left in the entire house. So we could choose a bedroom, but I think the bedroom would have been a bad choice, so we chose the garden. And there we get the metal detector. Now this is so far the only time I've seen the metal detector. The metal detector just gives you a great chance of finding keys and coins. See a dirt pile there, but no shovel, so I can't dig that up. But I've got the metal detector. It is sort of useful, but again, it increases the chance that you're going to get them things. It doesn't tell you, obviously, beforehand whether you will or not. So again, I'm not using the map here. I'm just going straight for whatever feels right. You can see there the metal detector in the top right, just flashing green to let me know that there's something in there. Which again, when you go in the nook, it's quite an obvious thing. I should have used the magnifying glass there, because that gives you details on how to solve the dartboard puzzle in the billiards room. Annoyingly, I didn't figure that out until after I'd already figured out how to solve the dart room puzzle. But it's there for you. If you use the magnifying glass, it tells you what each sort of section on the dartboard means in terms of the puzzle. Yeah, and again, at this point, I'm pretty much done with the playthrough. There's nothing more I can do. I've blocked off every avenue, and that will probably be the end of day 2, which will also be the end of the video. I appreciate it's a long one. I didn't know whether to edit it down or keep it as a normal playthrough, and I decided to keep it as a normal playthrough. But look, let me know, if this is something people have enjoyed, drop a like on there, and we'll carry it on with the series, and we'll see where we go. I have recorded more footage, so there are more videos to be made. So regardless of that, there'll probably be 2 or 3 more videos. But I'm really enjoying the game, I have to say. Not quite as puzzly as I thought it was going to be in terms of the rooms where you have to solve puzzles. I thought it was more a pure puzzle game, but it is more of a sort of, it's a puzzle in itself, in the layout and the thinking, and figuring out how and where to put things. So yeah, guys, drop me a comment and a like. Let me know if I did things right or wrong. Let me know if you're playing this, if you're enjoying it, and what you think of the game. I'll drop another video soon with a part 2. We'll try and get through a few more days and make some progress and try and get to the antechamber. Bye for now.